Ever heard of a building that melts cars? Or a monument that sings when the wind blows? Yeah, the world's most famous landmarks aren't just pretty to look at, they're hiding some truly bizarre secrets. From cursed stones to accidental masterpieces, today we're diving into 20 weird facts about famous landmarks that'll make you see them in a whole new way. Let's start with something shocking. Fact 1. The Leaning Tower of Pisa wasn't supposed to lean. We all know the Leaning Tower of Pisa for, well, leaning. But that tilt? It's actually a huge mistake. When construction began in 1173, the soft Italian soil couldn't handle the weight, and the whole thing started sinking by the time builders reached the third floor. They tried to fix it, several times, but every attempt just made it worse. Ironically, if it hadn't leaned, it probably wouldn't be famous today. Fact 2. The Eiffel Tower changes height every season. The Eiffel Tower isn't as stable as you might think. In summer, it can grow up to 6 inches taller because the metal expands in the heat. Then in winter, it shrinks back down. So technically, Paris' most iconic structure has seasonal mood swings. Fact 3. The Statue of Liberty used to be a lighthouse. Yep, Lady Liberty once doubled as a working lighthouse. From 1886 to 1902, her torch emitted light visible for nearly 24 miles across New York Harbor. But here's the twist, it wasn't bright enough for ships, so they gave up on the idea pretty quickly. Fact 4. The Great Wall of China isn't one continuous wall. You've heard it's visible from space. Which is false, by the way, but the Great Wall of China is even weirder than that. It's not one single wall. It's actually a massive collection of overlapping walls, built at different times by different dynasties. Think of it as ancient China's version of patchwork security fencing. Fact 5. Mount Rushmore has a secret room behind Lincoln's head. Hidden inside Mount Rushmore is a sealed-off chamber tucked behind Abraham Lincoln's head. It was meant to be a hall of records, a time capsule containing America's most important documents. But construction was never finished, leaving a half-built secret room hidden inside one of the most recognizable monuments on Earth. Fact 6. The Taj Mahal changes color throughout the day. The Taj Mahal isn't just stunning, it's also a bit of a shapeshifter. The marble reflects different colors depending on the time of day, pinkish in the morning, milky white at noon, and golden under moonlight. Locals say it mirrors the moods of love, just like the emperor who built it for his late wife. Fact 7. The Pyramids of Giza were once bright white. When you picture Egypt's pyramids, you probably think of dusty golden stone. But originally, they were covered in smooth white limestone that shimmered under the sun. Imagine 3 giant, gleaming structures glowing across the desert, ancient Egypt's version of blinding luxury. Fact 8. The Colosseum wasn't always about gladiators. Here's a twist. After the Roman Empire fell, the Colosseum was reused for some strange stuff, like housing, workshops, and even a fortress. At one point, it became a Christian shrine. So yeah, one of the bloodiest arenas in history eventually turned into a place of worship. Talk about a plot twist. Fact 9. Big Ben isn't actually the tower's name. Everyone calls the famous London clock Big Ben, but that's just the nickname for the bell inside. The tower itself was originally called the Clock Tower and was renamed Elizabeth Tower in 2012. But let's be honest, no one's ever going to stop calling it Big Ben. Fact 10. The Sydney Opera House was inspired by orange slices. That wild seashell design? It wasn't random. The architect, Jørn Utzon, struggled for years to figure out the perfect shape, until he noticed how neatly orange slices fit together. So, he used that same geometry to create the building's now iconic look. Imagine if he'd been peeling a banana instead. Fact 11. The Eiffel Tower was almost torn down. Crazy to think, but the Eiffel Tower wasn't meant to last. It was built for the 1889 World's Fair and scheduled to be dismantled after 20 years. The only reason it survived? It became useful as a military radio tower. In other words, Eiffel's temporary creation just kept finding new jobs. Fact 12. The Parthenon was once a colorful temple. If you think ancient Greek temples were white, think again. The Parthenon in Athens used to be painted in bright reds, blues, and golds. Over centuries, the colors faded, leaving behind the plain stone we see today. So yes, the ancient Greeks were basically decorating in full-on rainbow mode. Fact 13. Stonehenge might have been a giant sound experiment. Stonehenge's purpose has always been a mystery. But some researchers think it might have been designed for acoustic effects. When sound waves bounce between the stones, they create deep, echoing tones. It's almost like an ancient concert hall, built thousands of years before music as we know it. Fact 14. The Empire State Building has its own zip code. It's not just a building, it's basically a small city. The Empire State Building has so many offices, people, and businesses inside that it was assigned its very own zip code, 10118. Over 10,000 people work there every day, so imagine the chaos during lunch hour. Fact 15. The Hollywood sign used to say something else. Before it became the symbol of stardom, the Hollywood sign originally said Hollywoodland. It was built in 1923 as a real estate advertisement for a new housing development. Over time, the last 4 letters deteriorated and were removed, leaving the iconic version we know today. Fact 16. The Sphinx has a missing beard and it's in a museum. That mysterious face guarding the pyramids? It used to have a beard. The fragments of it are now in the British Museum in London. So technically, the Sphinx's chin has been on vacation for over a century. Fact 17. The White House was rebuilt after it burned down. During the War of 1812, British troops set fire to the White House. Only the outer walls survived. When it was rebuilt, workers painted it white to hide the burn marks, and that's how it officially became the White House. Turns out, history's most famous nickname came from a cover-up. Fact 18. The Moai statues on Easter Island have bodies. Those giant stone heads you see in photos? They're not just heads. Excavations revealed that the Moai statues actually have full bodies buried underground, some reaching up to 33 feet tall. So, they've been hiding their size for centuries like ancient iceberg celebrities. Fact 19. The Louvre was once a fortress, and a prison. Before it became the world's most famous art museum, the Louvre was built as a medieval fortress to protect Paris from invasion. Later, it was used as a royal palace, and at one point, a prison. Imagine locking people up in the same place where the Mona Lisa now smiles at tourists. Fact 20. The Burj Khalifa can be seen from 60 miles away. And finally, Dubai's Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world, is so massive, you can see it from 60 miles away on a clear day. At its peak, you can actually watch the sunset twice, once from the ground, and again from the top. The rich people's version of hitting replay. So, next time you're scrolling through vacation photos or planning your dream trip, remember this: the world's landmarks are more than just tourist traps. They're stories carved in stone, mistakes turned masterpieces, and sometimes, just straight up weird. Who knew that a leaning mistake could become a global icon? Or that a 19th century sign would turn into the ultimate symbol of fame? The world's full of strange little details hiding in plain sight, and that's what makes it fascinating. If you loved learning these weird facts about famous landmarks, hit that like button, drop a comment with your favorite fact, and subscribe for more mind-blowing facts every week. Trust me, we've got plenty more where that came from.